Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, when it comes to outdoor activity and persisting smoke, some say no, others say go.
How long this man will spend in prison for shooting and killing a retired police chief.
Plus the award that will posthumously be presented to someone who served during World War II. Valley News Live at 6 is next.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
The first night of Blues Fest is underway in Fargo at Newman Outdoor. These music fans enjoying temps that are in the lower 80s right now, and there's enough wind to hopefully keep the smoke away.
That smoke has again prompted the cancellation of tonight's performance of Cinderella at STORMTEAM and led to the closure of area swimming pools.
Plus, check in with meteorologist Nathan Hopper for the latest on the smoke. Nathan?
Yeah, Mike and Stacy, happy Friday to you both. Dangerous air qualities out there for tonight into the weekend, even up until Tuesday around 3 p.m. This air quality alert has been extended for pretty much all of Minnesota, expecting that unhealthy to very unhealthy to sometimes downright hazardous air for some folks as we go through the weekend. North Dakota noticed no air quality alert here. There is no system to allow an air quality alert to be issued, but I am still expecting dangerous air qualities for our North Dakota neighborhoods as we go through the weekend. Look at these visibilities. Jamestown, that visibility, 1.5 miles. That smoke moving all the way up toward Devil's Lake, a 2-mile visibility there. Even seeing some of that haze now pushing back toward the Red River Valley, with Grand Forks and Fargo both seeing reduced visibilities at this time. Here's what we're looking at for that wildfire smoke forecast. This is Saturday at lunchtime. Notice we do see some of those yellows and some of those reds moving in there around lunchtime on Saturday. That red is unhealthy, around the 55 to 150 on the AQI number as we head into Saturday at lunchtime. Now, we do get a bit of a break there. This is around dinner time or so on Saturday. We see a bit of a break. And then Sunday morning, yes, those reds and purples come right back in. That purple is very unhealthy, and that sticks around for Sunday as well. So, of course, Stacy, Mike, if folks, especially those folks with underlying heart or lung conditions, definitely take it easy outdoors. But we'll break down that weekend in more detail in a few minutes.
You're going to have to take it easy.
Yep.
Thanks, Nathan.
You bet.
I regret what I did. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life.
An apology to the community tonight from the man who took red spray paint to a Moorhead mosque this spring, writing racist and hate-filled graffiti. 22-year-old Benjamin Enderle now stands convicted of felony harassment, but he won't see any more jail time, as his plea agreement only handed down a sentence of 5 years of supervised probation. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley was in the courtroom today as members of the mosque told Enderle what he's done has changed their lives forever.
And we hope this will be a turning point in your life for the better.
While members of the Moorhead Fargo Islamic Center Mosque emphasize they forgive Benjamin Enderle, that doesn't mean they will forget.
As a direct result of your actions, some members of our community are now hesitant to come to observe prayers as they would normally do.
Haroum says because of Enderle's actions, the mosque is in the process of upping security, which includes blocking all of the windows in the worship space.
Our community has become hypersensitive, paranoid, and untrusting of even innocent passers-by who look like you.
Enderle must now complete 40 hours of community service with a minority nonprofit, as well as enroll in a restorative justice program. And on top of it all, Haroum says he also hopes Enderle decides to come to a service at the mosque.
I'd like to apologize to the people of the Moorhead Islamic community and ask for their forgiveness.
Enderle's attorney says the 22-year-old has taken full responsibility from the start and says Enderle does not hate those of Islamic faith.
He just did it to get a rise out of the news media. Immediately after doing this, he felt guilty and wished he had never done it.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life.
The mosque went on to thank the community for the support and cleanup efforts in the days following the vandalism, saying they're thankful to have been shown an abundance of love and light in some of the darkest times. In Moorhead, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Now, the Center for American Islamic Relations says they're now calling for the FBI to look into Enderle's background and ties, as they claim Enderle was affiliated with a hate group. In a statement, the group said, quote, Enderle was allegedly working with accomplices in a hate group who possess an arsenal of weapons. We urge the FBI to investigate potential threats these individuals may pose to the local Muslim community.
An Ogama, Minnesota man has been sentenced to 6.5 years in prison for shooting and killing a retired Lake Park police chief in Becker County. 56-year-old Morris Dodd Jr. was earlier found guilty of second-degree manslaughter in the 2018 shooting death of Jay Nelson. He was killed in his pickup truck on a trail near his family's hunting cabin on the White Earth Reservation. Dodd said he had fired a shot to spook a fawn and was scared to turn himself in after seeing news reports about Nelson's death because he was not allowed to possess a gun. A man will spend 15 years in jail for shooting and a meth conspiracy on the Spirit Lake Reservation. 27-year-old Mark Taylor Jr. from Minneapolis was found guilty of conspiracy to distribute possession with intent to distribute meth and possession of firearms of a convicted felon. This stems from an incident back in May of 2019. The BIA says that he ran from the scene of a car crash where police found bags of meth and a scale. Less than a week later, officers say Taylor threatened people inside a home with a firearm and shot it multiple times.
A man is under arrest after an 11-year-old in Fergus Falls suffered a serious head injury. The initial report said the child slipped and fell. Further investigation at the hospital led officials to believe the child had been assaulted by an adult in the same home. 56-year-old Reggie Bethel was arrested for assault in the first degree, malicious punishment of a child, and felony child endangerment. A fire destroys a garage in Richland County. That happened early this morning in Fairmount. The owners were in the house sleeping at the time, but no one was hurt. Crews still don't know how it started. Authorities say an ATV and vehicle outside the garage are a total loss.
Grand Forks police are concerned about an increase in opioid overdoses. So far this year, they say there have been 37 suspected drug overdoses and 3 deaths. Authorities say the increase in overdoses is from the counterfeit pills that appear to be oxycodone tablets but are actually fentanyl laced. If you know anyone in need of support, reach out to multiple recovery groups in your town. There's also a text-based support group available. The phone number is 701-335-6051.
The Delta variant is hitting kids hard. That's according to Minnesota state health officials. State figures show only 35% of kids ages 12 to 15 are fully vaccinated. For 16 to 17-year-olds, that figure is 47%. One doctor says while there are concerns surrounding such a new vaccine, parents should ask themselves this.
We have to balance what are the potential risks that this vaccine may cause a problem in 10 years versus the actual risk that if you get infected now, you're going to get very sick, you may end up in the hospital, and you may die.
Health and education officials have now come out with new guidance. They're encouraging everyone 12 and older to get vaccinated for COVID-19 before returning to in-person school, sports, or other activities. They're encouraging everyone in school buildings to wear masks, even if you've been vaccinated, and they want schools to maintain 3 feet of distance between students in the classroom.
The end of the federal moratorium evictions ends tomorrow. The state of North Dakota is setting aside $352 million to help with outstanding rent, utility payments, and other expenses. One group providing legal advice says it's not enough, as North Dakota eviction judgments have increased every year by 15% from 2016 to 2019. That figure dropped due in part to the federal evictions moratorium and rent assistance. While the federal moratorium in North Dakota ends tomorrow, North Dakota is doing an off-ramp plan that is in place until next year.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, a deep dive into the increasing cases of the Delta variant in Minnesota.
And take a look at that smoke from our Devils Lake Home of Economy Skycam, reducing visibilities as close as those trees across the street from the Home of Economy there. In Fargo tonight, expecting those temperatures to cool gradually into those 70s, south wind around 10 miles per hour, eventually into the 60s later on overnight. Same story in Grand Forks, cool and dry air up toward the north. We'll break down your full weekend forecast.